where there are hydrants.
We're still in the open meeting part of this. Is there anybody from any cabs or anybody in the open meeting want to? I think we had all the cabs up here before it. Any public comment on it? If not, I'll close the public comment period and bring it back to the commission.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Howell?
I'd just like to say one thing that I heard it mentioned a couple times, I believe, that the various cabs, a couple of them said something about 8 meetings a year. We actually only have 7 scheduled. 7 meetings.
They might have 8.
That's why the budget's
No,
high.
we're talking about the travel.
Yeah.
You know, so if they're scheduling or budgeting for 8 meetings for travel, there's actually only 7.
Okay. Any other, can we close that door there? Kind of a distraction with the traffic. Any other commissioner comments? I wanted to talk to Patrick on option 2 and just explain that, and you know, if that is an option that if we go back and visit her, would you go through that option?
After.
Yeah.
Option 2 basically takes their request and reduces it on a % basis to bring it, the overall authority for the cabs, to what we have budgeted in the current fiscal year for them. It's an increase over what was legislatively approved. I can't say how well that's going to actually match their actual travel costs, but it does bring it in line with how much funding they have in the current year.
And what are the options if, let's just say if something happened where they needed more money, what are their options?
You know, we always have the opportunity, if there is enough time available in the year, to re-review and further augment. I think I suggested earlier that one of the things we need to look at doing is taking another look at the CAB's budgets after the current fiscal year closes, because we are guessing at what their final travel costs are going to be. We are guessing at what their ending balances are going to be, and that affects the amount of money they need pretty dramatically. So if we were to, in the fall or something like that, get final reports from the counties as to what they really spent, what the real balances were, and maybe take another look at the projected need, that would give us an opportunity to true up, to augment additionally if that's necessary. We couldn't do it if we were really late in the year, but if we did it in the fall or the winter, there should be time for that.
Director Mayor, so we could make that an agenda item then after the fiscal year, and then if you had to go back to IFC one time to augment them, that wouldn't be a problem. We could do it, and we do it all at once, but we'd make it after the fiscal year in the fall, make it an agenda item.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go more than once. I think you'd get chastised for poor planning. So we could wait till just before we take the hunting season break in October, November. I mean, what, maybe do it in December? But that gets towards the legislative session. So.
Yeah, probably
October?
September, something like that. The counties, I'm not sure when they close their books, but the state does it in August, and they would probably need a little bit of time to give us final reports. So I'd imagine by late September, October, that information ought to be available, and then that would give us enough money to review it, have the commission review it, and do any work programs if that was necessary.
I don't think we ever turned down augmentation, have we?
I don't believe so.
I don't remember.
You know, we just don't know what this is to bring. I mean, they're talking about a $3 billion. I heard the governor in the cabinet meeting talk about a $4 billion hole. So, you know, you just never know what that might mean to everybody. And even though we're user paid, the mantra is everybody feels the pain. So, but I wouldn't think this small amount that we might be augmenting would be a big deal. Do you think, Patrick?
No, I mean, like I say, we were able to protect this category during the special session because it is a regulatory type of function. the in-state travel and stuff. I think we got pretty good justification for it as long as we've got good backup number of meetings, one person attending, it's in statute. That seems pretty clear cut. It's the out-of-state stuff that I think we get a lot of scrutiny on, yeah.
So it's not the end of the line, whatever we do. We always will make sure we get the cabs taken care of. Okay, Commissioner Rain?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I think that anything that, whatever motion is made today, I'd like to see with the caveat that it is revisited before the end of the calendar year. It gives a little flexibility on the dates. I mean, possibly get it in the September, because it's the late end of September 24th, 25th. If not, that'd give you till the 3rd and 4th of December meeting. And I'm looking at these numbers, and there are wild variations between budget requests and the actual expenditures over the last years. And these wild variations, I mean, there's clearly perceived discrepancies in the numbers. I mean, when I say wild, the budget request for FY11, looking back at the actual expenditures, 06, 7, 8, 9, go at the highest of those 4 years, the FY11 budget request is a 117% increase. The highest of those years was just under 27,000, and this is 31,000 more than that. It's a 146% increase over the 4-year average. So I mean, it's wild discrepancy. So clearly, maybe some of that needs to be ironed out, and we can have that revisiting. So that said, I'm about ready for a motion. Even the smallest option is a 17% increase over the highest of the last 4 years.
Commissioner Moray?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think from what I've heard here today and from what we have in front of us, I truly believe that the importance of the county advisory boards is paramount, and we need that information from them to find out what's going on all around the state. With that in mind, I don't think, from what I've heard, that any of the county advisory boards are spending money frivolously. And with that in mind, I think that if I would be leaning toward option 1, which seems to be something that is doable and something that would still allow the advisory boards to function. And I believe in funding it right now, so that not saying that we don't go look at it later, but that we don't have to go ask for more money later.
Commissioner McBeth?
I guess I have to take exception to Commissioner Rain's statements, because we just got through a very substantial amount of testimony by everybody clearly explaining their budgets and how they came about and how much they're sacrificing and how much they're cutting out. I think that this has been very well documented. I think they did an excellent job of putting all this together, and I think it's unquestioned. And so what has happened in the past is really not relevant. The question is are these budgets been prepared properly? And I think without a doubt, after all that I've heard, that they have been. And so I would also agree that option 1, but I want to make clear that option 1 falls short of what they've asked for, and that we should follow up in September if that's sufficient time. I'm not sure if it is, or December in our meeting to do the true-up process. We'll have all the schedules out. We'll know what the meetings are going to be, and all of those costs, should be solidified, and we can do the true-up. And at that point, if necessary, do an augmentation. And then if you, as part of this process, need to do a work program, then I think that we can do that and further explain. So I'm not looking at the past. I'm looking at what was put in these budgets right now and what they've asked for, and I think there's a lot of sacrifice that is going on, and they are doing the best they can to come up with these budgets in good faith, and so I think we need to go with that option 1.
Commissioner Wallace?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with both Commissioners Mora and McBeth. I wish we could fund them with the full budget request. I just don't see how that can, I don't see where that can come from. It hasn't really been answered for me, whether it's even possible. I don't see how it could be, because that's a huge number. I feel comfortable with option one, along with the same thing, revisiting it and getting a better handle on the numbers come September.
I feel comfortable with option one, and with the instruction going back to cabs, they know we're in a problem, and to try to trim as much fat out of their budget, and we'll have another meeting in the fall to go through real numbers. But it's a message to the cabs, you know, if you can trim your budget and in any way, you know, we're gonna be looking at it with a fine-tooth comb in the fall to make sure that there's no fat in there. And I don't think there's fat now, but maybe there's some way that we don't even think of, that they'll take a good look at their budget and see if there's anywhere where they could trim them. If they can't, and we can always augment them. I don't think we'd ever turn anyone down as long as they had a good reason. Commissioner Capurro.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm concerned about this situation that's been brought up regarding the recording secretary, open meeting stuff, and the like. And the last thing I want to see happen is the CAB members exposed to dangers of violating the open meeting law through no fault of their own, in which there are some innocent actions taking place in that if it's my belief that the county should be at least paying for part of that. I'm speaking with respect to Clark County now. But if they don't, I'm not sure that we can escape not doing it. And I think that's blackmail to us, but on the other side of the coin, I don't want those people exposed to the kind of problems that could come. I think that shuts down input from the sportsmen and exposes volunteers who work extremely hard. I know quite a few of them in that pay a lot of money out of their own pockets to perform the services they do. So I'm also in favor of option one, and take a look at it towards the end of the year.
Anybody had any comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion somewhere.
Kimberlin?
Commissioner Viet?
Okay. Let me see, where's our agenda item? I'd like to make a motion to approve the County Advisory Board budget requests and do that at the budget request or at fiscal year 11 NDOW option number 1 on our on the document titled fiscal year 11 County Advisory Board budget request recommendations, with the understanding that that we will revisit this as an agenda item on a future commission meeting, which would be the meeting at the end of September, if we determine that gives us sufficient time to get the information on from the state, or the meeting of December, which would be more than enough time, I believe, to do that. Okay, I'm getting an indication we want to make that December. Let's just make it December. That way we know we have enough time to do it. And that we then true up and if necessary, make us an additional request, I guess, through IFC and to do whatever necessary work program to approve that additional true up to the budget.
And this is Brian Stock. Just so the record's clear, then let's, I think the chairman I'd suggest that the chairman make this, the spreadsheet an exhibit to this particular item and put an exhibit number on it, such as Exhibit 1, so that it's clear the number that's referred to in the motion.
The official documents I have is FY11 County Advisory Board Budget Requests Recommendations. Is that okay? That's the exhibit?
Yes.
Commissioner Rain?
Just like to make the motion to
Wait. Did we get a second to that motion?
Yes, there was. Make the motion to
so we got a motion and a second by Commissioner Wallace. Okay, now.
to consider just to allow some flexibility in this to state, rather than necessarily a particular meeting, state revisited before the end of the calendar year?
Might be able to do it
I have
sooner.
indication that it might be early, might not. If we state revisited before the end of the calendar year, would that be acceptable to make?
As opposed to a specific,
Yeah, but to give Mr. Cates flexibility, if something, he can get it in September.
okay.
I'd like to do it.
I'll
sooner.
accept that amendment to the motion.
The second one as well.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept FY 11 NDOW option 1, and with a caveat to, before the end of the year, bring it back to the commission for review and augmentation if necessary.
Calendar year.
Calendar year, I'm sorry. Calendar year. Our December meeting's usually light, but we also have, in September is a good time too, give them more time. Okay. Everyone understand the motion? Commissioner Howe?
I have one question. You said augment. And
said if necessary.
Change.
Or change, I'm sorry, change.
because it could go either way.
Yeah.
Up or down.
Is that okay? I'm sorry. The motion is change, okay? Everyone understand the motion then?
If I didn't actually say that, then I will amend the motion to indicate it's the change in the budget.
I would agree to that as well.
So the word is change, okay? Is that okay? Okay, all for the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. Next item on